We've got a Republican candidate for president of the Cook County Board who's actually a Chicago police lieutenant, and that's John Garrido. John, a pleasure to have you.
Thank you very much for having me on your show. I
First
appreciate
of all,
it.
thank you, and I want to say hi to our mutual friend Scott Oberg, who's
Hi,
really a
Scott.
terrific guy. And let's talk about why you're running for Cook County Board and what you want to accomplish.
I'm ready for Cook County Board because it is definitely time for change here in Cook County. We've had one-party rule for far too long, and I am fed up with the way things are being run in our county government, actually at all levels of our government, city, county, and state. But I believe that I'll have the most significant impact by getting into county government. So I've decided that I am running, seeking the Republican nomination for Cook County Board President. The first thing I'm going to do is take a 10% pay cut. I will lower our taxes. I will seek to repeal the rest of that sales tax increase. And I will eliminate patronage hiring, and I plan on getting in there and actually rooting out corruption. I'm going to expand our Inspector General's office, and I'm going to give them the teeth that they need to actually get in there and get rid of these politically connected people that are doing nothing more than collecting a paycheck.
Collecting a paycheck is a nice way to put it.
I mean, really, that's about the only physical activity that some of these guys do.
Yeah, they don't really have to work their jobs, and that I'm very familiar with, unfortunately.
Right.
As a matter of fact, last election, I was getting all these calls from those kind of people urging me to vote urging me to endorse a certain person in Jewish Chicago who did get reelected so they could hang on to their jobs.
No doubt, no doubt. And, many of the things that I just said, you're going to hear from all of the candidates, but I think what separates me from the rest of the candidates is that I am not a career politician, and I'm not part of the Chicago machine. I'm a citizen just like you, just like anybody else. I'm a Chicago police officer, blue collar, and I've got a sprinkling of white collar because I'm also an attorney.
Oh, that's a nice combination.
Right. So I'm a taxpayer and a property owner, and I'm going to get in there and do the right thing. And I don't think that can be said for every other candidate.
How long have you had your eyes on the county government?
I've always been interested in politics and wanted to get into it. I had thought about doing it after I retired from the Chicago Police Department, but like I said, it just came down to, I finally just fed up. People that I know that are either closing up their businesses or moving their businesses outside of Cook County, which takes jobs with it. Something needs to be done, so I decided this is the time that I'm going to get involved. So I'm in the game now.
Okay, and I imagine it's got to be, well, you still have your job, but you've got to be, so how do you hit the campaign trail? And of course, as a Republican, it's a whole different deal than the Democrats.
Well, I use my time off that I get, that I have on the books, furlough time, whenever I can. For example, tonight I'll be going in tonight at 6 p.m., work from 6 until 2, and then, so I just work around my work shift and my days off and my time off, and I try to hit the trail as hard as I can, as much as I can.
You going to public events, or?
I do. I go to community meetings. I'm reaching out to police organizations. I've been out to the Italian American Police Organization, the Polish American Police Organizations. I participated in a HACIA forum, which was a Hispanic construction candidate forum, and I think we have a debate coming up in January between myself and my opponent. And I just trying to get out as much as I can, and just voter awareness is obviously the focus right now.
Yeah, now of course Republicans in Chicago are rare, but Republicans in the rest of the county are quite around. Right. How many people voted in the primary last time? Was there a contest?
In the last time, no. Tony Perico ran alone.
He's been a frequent guest here, by the way.
Okay, and there was 140,000 people that voted in that Republican primary.
Well, so that's a pretty solid number.
It's a solid number, but when you compare that to the over 618,000 people voted in the Democratic primary.
Right, but there was also a real contested race there. I mean, there are more Democrats here, but Republicans have won the slot in the past.
Right, and that's why I think it's good that there are multiple candidates right now on the Republican side, because I think that's what we can use to rally our voters and our base and get them excited about that there's actually a race going on. So many people, when you have that off-season election, don't really pay attention to what's going on, and they don't really come out and vote. They don't get involved until after the primary. Well, with the example of how many people voted last time, the Republicans are starting off with about 140,000 people, and the Democrats are hitting the ground running with over 500,000 people already involved.
Now, if people want to contact your campaign,
they can go to www.garrido2010.com. That's GARRIDO2010.com.
Okay, very good. I want to wish you a lot of luck, and both on the job now and in the future. And good luck in the campaign, and if you win the primary, you're more than welcome back, and we'll go from there.
When I win the primary.
When you win the primary,
Absolutely.
we will go from there.
All right. Thank you again.
Thank you so
very
much.
much for having me on your show.